Ladies and gentlemen, sometimes it takes us one moment, one decision, and one act of courage to change everything. You've been bending over backward for people, loving them, giving them your time, your energy, your heart. And what do you get in return? Silence, disrespect, neglect. But let me tell you something, if you ever want to know who really values you, stop showing up just once. Do it just once. Don't answer that phone. Don't go out of your way. Do it just once. And watch how fast the truth comes out. Self-worth is revealed in absence. Not presence. Let me use something powerful. Something most people don't figure out until it's too late. Your value is not always seen when you're constantly present. It's often revealed when you're absent, when you step back, when you stop giving, when you stop answering every call, doing every favor, being available all the time. That's when people finally see your worth, and they don't. And either way, that's your answer. See, a lot of us were raised to believe that being a good person means being there for everybody, all the time. That the more you give, the more people will love you. But that ain't the truth. Some people get so comfortable with your goodness that they start to treat it like a guarantee, not a gift. You ever notice how some folks only hit you up when they need something? Or how you're always the one doing the calling, the texting, the checking in? But the minute you go silent, the minute you say, let me just pull back and see who notices, silence is all you get in return. And that's silence. That's your answer. That's the truth talking. And sometimes truth hurts, but it also frees. Now, I know what some of y'all are thinking, but Steve, what if they're just busy? What if they don't mean to neglect me? Let me ask you something. Were you busy when you made time for them? Of course you were. You had your own problems, your own stress, your own life, and you still showed up. You still answered the phone. You still cared. See, love makes time. Respect shows up. And people who value you won't need your absence to feel your importance. They'll appreciate you while you're still present. But sometimes you've got to test it. Just once. You've got to stop overextending yourself and give people a chance to meet you halfway. Stop doing the heavy lifting in every relationship. If it's real, they'll step up. If it's not, they'll step out. And both outcomes are blessings. One shows you loyalty. The other shows you truth. I once heard someone say, when you stop watering dead plants, you stop wasting water. That hit me hard. Some of y'all are pouring everything you have into people who've been dead inside towards you for a long time. You keep showing up hoping they'll see your heart, but they don't want to. They're not blind, they're comfortable. And comfort breeds complacency. And here's the thing, when you pull back just once and they cry for you, that cry ain't always regret. Sometimes it's panic. Panic because their supply just dried up. You were the light, and they never realized it until you stepped out of the room. That's why I tell people all the time, know your worth and don't offer it at a discount. You are not here to beg for love, for attention, for effort. You are here to live in peace, to give with joy, and to be surrounded by people who see your value without you having to shrink, chase, or prove. So here's what I want you to do. The next time you feel like you're only one carrying the load, stop just once. Pull back, observe, and don't explain yourself. Real ones won't need an explanation. They'll reach out. They'll show up. And if they don't, let them go. You just made room for something better. Because in the end, you were never asking for too much. You were just asking the wrong people. Overgiving is not love. It's a habit built from talk about something real today. Something a lot of people don't want to admit. Overgiving is not love. It's fear in disguise. I know that's hard to hear, but you've got to sit with it. Some of y'all are calling it love. But what you're really doing is giving so much of yourself, your time, your energy, your heart, because deep down you're scared. Scared of being left. Scared of not good enough. Scared that if you stop giving, they'll stop staying. Let me tell you something I had to learn the hard way. Real love doesn't require you to exhaust yourself. It doesn't demand that you prove your worth over and over again. But fear will. And if you're not careful, you'll confuse the two. See, when we grow up feeling like we have to earn love, maybe because of how we were raised, maybe because of what we've been through, we start to believe that giving more will guarantee that people won't leave us. So what do? We bend, we break. We put ourselves last. We give when we're empty. We say yes when we're dying to say no. And we do it all under the label of love. But let me ask you this. If your love requires you to suffer in silence just to keep someone close, is that really love? Or is that fear holding you hostage? You ever notice how some people never match your energy, no matter how much you give? That's not because they don't have it. It's because they don't feel the need to give it back. Why? Because you've already shown them that you'll do it all. You'll carry the relationship. You'll sacrifice your needs. You'll tolerate the imbalance. Overgiving teaches people to underdeliver. And listen, this isn't about becoming cold or selfish. It's about balance. It's about learning that you can still love people without abandoning yourself. You can still show up for others without disappearing in the process. You can give, but you don't have to bleed. I've met so many good-hearted people, folks who would give you the shirt off their back, and they're the ones crying the most. Because they think, if I just give a little more, maybe they'll see me. Maybe they'll love me the way I love them. But that's not how it works. People don't start valuing you because you overextend yourself. In fact, the more you give without boundaries, the more some folks will take without guilt. Let me give it to you straight, because you're always giving. They're not staying for you. They're staying for the benefits. That's not a relationship. That's a transaction. And your heart deserves better than that. You don't have to beg for attention. You don't have to earn affection. The right people won't require you to overcompensate for your worth. The right people will meet you with the same energy, the same love, the same care, and they won't let you carry it alone. So ask yourself, what am I afraid of? Am I afraid they'll walk away if I stop doing everything? Am I afraid I won't be loved unless I'm always available, always giving, always fixing? And if the answer is yes, then baby, it's not love you're chasing. It's security. And let me tell you something, security that costs you your peace, your dignity, and your sense of self is way too expensive. Start choosing you. Start trusting that your value isn't tied to how much you give, but to who you are. Start understanding that you are worthy of love that doesn't drain you. And here's the truth. The ones who truly care, they'll still be there when you stop overgiving. In fact, they'll probably say, it's about time you stop doing everything by yourself, because real love doesn't just receive, it gives back. It supports, it protects, and it sees you fully, honestly, and without condition. So stop overgiving out of fear. Start giving from a place of love. Love for others, yes, but love for yourself first. One act of withdrawal can expose years of imbalance. Let me tell you something that'll hit you deep. You don't always need a big explosion to see the truth in a relationship. Sometimes all it takes is you pulling back just one time and everything becomes clear. That's right. One act of withdrawal, one quiet moment where you stop doing, stop chasing, stop giving. That's when the mask comes off. That's when you find out whether that love, that friendship, that connection was real or one-sided all along. See, when you're constantly the giver, the fixer, the peacemaker, people get real comfortable. They get so used to you carrying the weight that they stop lifting anything at all. You show up, they expect it. They take it for granted. You sacrifice, they just assume you're supposed to. And it starts small, little things. You overlook them. You say, it's okay, I'm just doing what I should. But over time, it becomes a pattern. And before you know it, you're the only one investing in a relationship that was supposed to be mutual. Now, here's the hard part. Sometimes we don't realize the imbalance until we finally get tired. We hit that wall. And we say, you know what? Not today. I'm not calling. I'm not showing up. I'm not bending this time. No one silence. No one checks on you. No one asks where you are. No one shows up. That silence is loady because it speaks the truth that words never did. All that time you were giving, they were receiving. All that energy you were pouring in, they were just soaking it up, giving nothing back. And that one moment of pulling away, that reveals what years of effort tried to hide. You were in a relationship with imbalance, not partnership. Now listen, I know that hurts. I've been there. It's painful to realize that the people done anything for wouldn't even do the bare minimum for you. But let me tell you this. Don't run from that pain. Don't numb it. Learn from it, because that pain is teaching you how to protect your peace, how to set boundaries, and how to stop mistaking effort for love. You see, we confuse doing everything with being loved. But true love doesn't let you carry it all by yourself. True love says, let me help, let me give back. Let me be there when you need me. It's not just about being present when it's convenient. It's about consistency, care, and commitment. One act of withdrawal can do what 1,000 conversations never could. Because people can lie to you with words, but they tell the truth with behavior. When you stop giving and they stop caring, that's not a loss, that's a revelation. And sometimes that's all you needed. Let me make it plain. You can't keep pouring from a cup that never gets refilled. And you shouldn't have to. Relationships, whether they're romantic, platonic, or even professional, should be built on reciprocity. That means I give, you give. I show up, you show up. We build each other. We don't drain each other. But when you're always the one giving and no one's pouring back into you, you're not in a relationship. You're in servitude. And that's not love. That's a slow form of self-destruction. So what do? You pause, you breathe, you pull back, not to be petty, not to play games, but to get perspective. Because your peace matters, your energy matters, and your presence is a privilege, not something to be used and forgotten. And when you do pull back, when you take that one step back and everything crumbles, don't chase, don't beg, don't explain. You just learn something that will save you years of pain. Because here's the truth, the people who love you don't need constant reminders to treat you right. They don't need you to break down and notice you've been carrying too much. They see you. They feel you. And they match your effort because they value your presence. So don't be afraid to withdraw. Sometimes that's the only way to reveal what was never balanced in the first place. And when you do, trust what you see. Trust what gets exposed. And most of all, trust yourself enough to let go of what doesn't serve your soul anymore. Because the moment you stop overextending is the moment you start healing. You are not responsible for everyone's comfort. You are responsible for your own peace. Let me say something to you that might change your life. You are not here to make everybody comfortable. You are here to protect your peace. That's right. Somewhere along the way, many of us were taught that our job is to keep the peace by keeping people happy, even if that means sacrificing our own happiness. We were raised to believe that saying yes all the time makes us kind, that putting others first no matter what makes us good. But let me tell you something, there is a difference between being kind and being a doormat. You've got to understand this. It is not your job to fix everybody. It is not your job to heal everybody. It is not your job to make everyone else comfortable while you sit there drowning inside. Your first and most sacred responsibility is your own peace. See, some of y'all are losing sleep over people who wouldn't lose 5 minutes for you. You're out here trying to keep everybody kind, trying to be the one who holds it all together. And what are you getting in return? Stress, anxiety, burnout, disrespect. And why? Because somewhere deep down you've been made to believe that being liked is more important than being at peace. But let me be clear. Peace is more valuable than popularity. Peace is more precious than approval. And peace, real deep, soul level peace, starts to level. You stop trying to manage other people's emotions and start managing your own boundaries. Now, don't get me wrong. Compassion is beautiful. Empathy is powerful. But there's a line between caring for people and carrying people. And some of you have crossed that line so many times you don't even know where it is anymore. You're over-apologizing for things that weren't your fault. You're shrinking yourself so others can feel big. You're walking on eggshells so other people can stay relaxed. You're saying yes with a fake smile when your spirit is screaming no. That's not peace, that's performance. And you can only perform for so long before the curtain falls, and you're left with nothing but exhaustion. So let me ask you this. When was the last time you asked yourself what Lio needed? Not what your boss needed, not what your friends needed, not what your family needed, what Lio needed. Do you even not good enough? Somewhere along the line, you made everyone else's comfort your responsibility. You became the counselor, the caregiver, the comfort zone. And in doing that, you forgot to comfort yourself. But here's the truth. You can't pour from an empty cup. You can't give peace to others if your own life is in chaos. You owe it to yourself to say, this is what I need. This is what I can give. And this is what I can no longer carry. And the people who truly love you, they won't be offended by your boundaries. They'll respect them because they understand that real love doesn't come with guilt trips and silent expectations. It comes with freedom, with space, with mutual respect. And let me go even deeper. Some people only love you when you make them comfortable. But the moment you start choosing your peace over their comfort, that love turns cold, that silence sets in, And you start to realize maybe they didn't love you. Maybe they just loved what you did for them. That realization hurts, but it heals because it sets you free. Listen, it's not your job to carry people who won't walk on their own. It's not your job to cushion the world from your truth just because it might make someone uncomfortable. Speak your truth, set your boundaries, walk in your purpose. And if somebody doesn't like it, that's okay. You weren't put on this earth to be liked by everyone. You were put here to live a life that honors your peace, your calling, and your God-given worth. So I'll say it again, and I hope you hear me deep in your soul. You are not responsible for everyone's comfort. You are responsible for your own peace. Protect it like your life depends on it, because in many ways it does.